Welcome, guys, one more time to an artist interview. For today's interview, I got a very special guest. This person I have a deep admiration for. She is what I would define as a scholar in her craft. Please help me welcome Miss Charles Brew. How are you today, Miss Brew?
Hi, Camilo. I'm just fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So, what we do here is that we try to give aspiring artists little nuances of how to make it. First, I would like to do is to start off with a little introductions. Can you tell us a little bit about your life, where you grew up, classes that you've taken, and what helped you become the artist that you are today?
I grew up in a military family, so I've moved quite a bit and traveled a lot when I was a kid. Because of all the traveling that I did, I got to spend a lot of time with my grandparents, especially my grandmothers, and they were both pretty big artists. So I grew up playing the piano, making art. I have three master's degrees in my field, and they're all in different areas. So I have in animation with the focus on storyboarding. Another one is in digital mixed media, and another one is in sculpture and art history. So I've had a lot of drawing, a lot of drawing. I used to think that, oh, if I took this master's, then when I go to get my next master's, I won't have to take these other classes, won't have to take these other classes. And then I end up, taking them and learning a lot. I mean, for example, I learned that there's a big difference in styles between the East Coast and the West Coast, and in how drawing is taught. So I've had a real opportunity to delve into lots of different techniques, lots of different processes. I can screen print, etch, aquatint, photography, painting, drawing, sculpture. There's not a process that I haven't learned. Still taking classes. I'm taking a book dummy making course right now. So I've already taken master classes in how to actually construct and make books, but this is a book on the history and process of making a children's book. So I continue to learn more things that I can not only pass along to my students, but help me with the work that I do.
Amazing. Wow. All right. So, from a family of artists to becoming an artist yourself and now study the craft to that point that is like knowing every single nuances. That is very, very impressive. So, are you currently working in any project that maybe you can talk to us about?
Yeah. Right now I'm finishing up my second children's book. The first book that I did, I published myself. And then I just got this bug in me that I just really want to get a book published by a publisher. And it's not a big money making thing, but I don't care because it's really making me happy. It's just making my day every day. Showing up for work and working on my book is a thrill. It's called Too Much Pink, and it's about two little cows who want to enter a contest. It's a fashion contest, and the contest is to make a bow, for their hair. And they start off wanting to buy the bow, but they can't afford it. And so they have to figure out a way how to make, or somehow conjure up a bow for this contest. So that's what the book is about.
Amazing. Thank you also for sharing those beautiful images of development of that project. And I knew the title. That's why today the shirt was not a mistake. I actually thought about, oh, I
Oh,
don't think
really?
I talk
Oh,
about too much freak. Let me see what I can do here. All right. So out of all the projects that you've done, it seems like that one obviously fulfills you. Is that the one that you're most happy with?
I am most happy with whatever project I'm working on in the moment. I care about the outcome, and I certainly have a goal in mind for my projects, a bigger goal outside of myself. I try not to think about the bigger goal too much. This book is really, it's occupying my every waking moment in a good way.
In order for you to kind of stay motivated through that, because these long projects sometimes can feel like a little bit of a drag. It doesn't sound like you run into that issue, but can you tell us a little bit about that creative process in your day-to-day?
Well, I actually started writing this book 4 years ago. So it's gone through, well, I number the iterations of the manuscript. It's gone through 40 iterations. And I'm in a group that does, it's a critique group that I meet with on a regular basis. So I get feedback from 3 or 4 other people on the manuscript. And in March of 2021, I finally got the yay, you know, the thumbs up. That's the manuscript is good. Really start getting that book dummy done. And it was funny, not funny, really not funny, because I just went into a downward spiral for some reason. The manuscript was done, and I guess you can kind of say I got scared um to start actually putting the book together, to start doing the illustrations and putting the book together. And I started kind of filling my life with I don't know, little monthly challenges, doing hand studies, feet studies, taking on a private student, or, doing anything except working on the book.
Right.
And then I got a little down about it because I felt like, oh, I'm spinning my wheels. I'm really not doing anything, and my work is going nowhere. And I started posting less on Instagram, and just not feeling really good about anything I was doing. And I think because in the back of my mind, I had this project I was thinking about and wondering, why the heck aren't you working on this? And I really, I mean, for all the folks out there who are struggling, because I've talked about this kind of thing with a lot of different artists, and we all go through it. All I can say is thank God for my drawing group, because I voiced my feelings in the drawing group one night, and everybody was really nice. To be honest, a lot of people will go, oh, you're great, everything you do is great, blah blah blah. And it was good to hear, but and you guys can identify with this, when you're in one of those moods, you can't take that kind of stuff in, because you're not producing the way you would like to be. And then finally, one of my former students, at the end of the drawing session, everybody had gone, and it was just she and I, or me. And she said, Mrs. Brew, she said, you need to stop everything that you're doing that's keeping you from doing the thing that you want to do. Oh my gosh, I started crying.
Wow.
I might still cry. And this is coming from my student. I said, oh my gosh, how did you get to be so wise? And she said, one of my favorite teachers told me that for about 4 years while I was in college. And it was me she was talking about. I just
Wow.
went, holy cow.
Full circle.
Okay.
Full
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah, full circle. I did take a couple days. I just took a couple days to think about it, and to, not that there was really a lot to think about, but I needed to regroup, and I needed to have a plan. So then I remembered a book that I read called A War on Art by Stephen Pressfield. I should actually list it here because it is a fantastic book. If you want to get motivated, that's the book to read. He just talks about resistance and how it's our worst enemy as artists. And that you've got to, and he asked the question right at the beginning, are you a pro or are you an amateur? And a pro shows up for the job every darn day. Right. And so I just started showing up for the job. And the first day when I started doing the thumbnails for the first spread, everything clicked. I'm not saying that the thumbnails were great, okay? Don't get me wrong. I am talking about the feeling that I had sitting here working on this stuff. And at the
Yes.
end of the day, it was like I was walking on air. I really did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope that's helpful to people out there who
Oh
are.
my God, absolutely. And there were so many points that you touched on, which I believe are so important for any of us artists who really wants to make it, and for us who have that passion. I mean, just feeling scared, maybe sometimes overwhelmed with the task, just we try to escape it for whatever reason.
Hard part is sitting down and doing the research and cranking out the thumbnails. I want to do at least 8 to 10 thumbnails, at least. And it forces me to sort of change things up a bit, even if it's the same scene from a different perspective. Is it working for that scene? And so then once I get enough of those thumbnails together, I can look and pick which one or which combinations of one will fit that scene at that moment in the story. Saying when you get to the hard parts where you really need to do deep work and you need to have deep thinking going on and deep practice going on, it's a good time to have quiet, because then your mind can really focus on those things that you're trying to get out. And it does take a lot of thinking, believe me,
Mhm.
when you're designing something. Yeah.
Brew, thank you so much. Before we call it, do you have maybe some words of wisdom for any artist, any pro tips you would like to share?
Let's see. So pro tip number one, you're not alone. You're not alone in your feelings about your work and about your art. I've been absolutely amazed in the last, say, 4 months of the number of artists that I've talked to that feel, think, and are going through the same things that I'm going through. My second tip would be get yourself in a group and commit to it. Don't let resistance come up. You know, the minute that you commit to a diet, right? That's the minute that
Mhm.
your husband or your girlfriend comes home with a bag of Fritos.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
resistance is there. And whenever you're trying to do something, it seems like the world, it just gangs up on you and is trying to keep you from doing that. I would say get yourself in a group and commit to it and get to know the people that you're working with and create a relationship there. And so the third thing would be to show up for the job every day. Make a specific time every single day that you are going to either work on a project or do a drawing, something like that. Be kind to yourself at first. Like start with 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Like it's called the 5-minute rule. You set the timer for 5 minutes, you end up working for 3 hours. But
Yeah.
forget about that. But yeah, just set the timer and commit to it and get in the habit. Within 21 days, you'll be in the habit. And then the fourth and final one is to do a challenge. Like Inktober is a great challenge to do, but don't worry about how you're drawing or what the drawing looks like or comparing it to other people. Don't do that to yourself yet, especially if you're just kind of starting out. Just you want to start by developing good habits.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Guys, get your support, get your people around you, then commit 100%, do it, and finally make sure to always and always keep pushing.
Yeah. Don't feel bad. There's plenty of time to feel bad.
Real quick, if anybody has any questions, where can they reach you at? What social media do you use the most?
The social media I use the most is my Instagram. And I am, I'm out of my dark mood, so I am posting more. And I am posting my thumbnails and my references and my underdrawings on Instagram now. And I think it does get posted to Facebook, but they can DM me anytime they want. If they're interested in coming to the drawing group, they can DM me for that and get my email, and I will send them a link. The same with the art scene. Everybody's looking for an art scene, and that's on Fridays. So yeah, just contact me through Instagram.
Yes, all the links are below, so make sure to check it out. Again, you have here a well of knowledge, so guys, take advantage of it. Brew, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Bye.
Bye.